So I was just checking. Join Live Fest now. I don't think I want to join Live Fest now, but thanks. Thanks for the invite. I was just checking my online schedule here to see when I was supposed to show up at my TikTok Live. And yeah, double checking it. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. I'm going to rock you like a hurricane, okay? So, good morning. No, not even good morning. 2:01 in the afternoon, East Coast time. That's where I'm at. How about you? I'm in Pennsylvania. If you want to put your state in the comments, that's kind of fun. Christine, nice to see you. I know that you're on the West Coast, and as I said, 2 p.m. my time is a wee bit more time friendly for my West Coasters, so very cool. I'm recognizing some names. I see Cat Mama and Oceanana. Now you're on you're closer to the coast than I am. Up in New Hampshire, North Carolina, Texas. Love it. German made. Oh, thank you. Thank you. My Delaware-based husband, or born husband, rather, just gave me my tea. Dana Reynolds, nice to see you. All right, 2 p.m. for Meggers as well. 12:01 in Texas, lunchtime. Texas lunch. There's a place, I should Google that. There's a place called Texas Lunch. I think it's an old-timey place. Illinois. I almost said Illinois. Nice to see you. And Meggers is in Ohio, spreading sunshine. Nice to see you. I love it. See, what's kind of fun to me is, first of all, well, many things are fun to me. I try to have fun whenever possible and get stuff done. I am getting stuff done this week more so than any other week practically in the last 6 months. And I am not saying, Lisa P, you're in Delco. I love it. Did you go to Wawa and get a hoagie? I just had a hoagie from Wawa on Monday. I got a funny story about that. But I love it when I see familiar names, and I'm not that good. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I met you before," and I'm kind of a jerk. I don't mean to be that way. Sometimes I don't realize it. But it's nice to see people. Oh, it's me. Deb is in Delco too. I love it. Monk has been accomplishing a lot this weekend. So here's my Delco related, southeastern Pennsylvania, total niche thing is, much like I coach people to get stuff done and have some fun. And I had some fun on Monday where I went and got a massage. So lovely. And I was in such a state of bliss on Monday after my massage that my husband, it's so funny, I'm so like highbrow. Like I went and got a massage, and then I went to Wawa and got a hoagie. Okay, because my husband and I we both had, no, did I have to pee? No, we had peed there. And anyhow, I changed my mind on the hoagie I was getting. They had one, which was almost like the Bobby. My God, that was my Boston accent coming out about to talk about Delaware. Down in Delaware at Capriotti's, they would have one called the Bobby, which was basically like Thanksgiving on a roll. At Wawa, I think they call it the gobbler. Now up at home, we'd call it the gobbler. The gobbler. So I saw that on the screen when I went to order my hoagie. This is just Southeast PA talk, y'all. And I couldn't find it when I kind of got into the menu. So I said, that's fine, I'll get an Italian. And then as I was about to check out, I said, oh, there it is. So I thought I had X'd out, like zeroed out my my Italian hoagie, and I got the gobbler instead. No, I was so blissed out and relaxed because of my massage that I didn't realize I did that, and I actually ordered 2 Italian hoagies and a gobbler at the Wawa. Yeah. And it was so funny because my husband was like, wait, what? Huh? No? Well, you can cancel that out. And I was like, it's fine, because we were up at the counter and the ladies, checking out our things. I'm like, it's fine. We'll eat it. It'll be fine. And I was just so in such a good frame of mind, having had a nice massage, that I was like, it's okay that I just spent a wicked lot of money on hoagies at Wawa. And we did eat them, and they were tasty. So, yeah. So, yes, okay. It's me, Deb, goes to the Capriotti's on 202. I love it. There we go. Now, I love it. Kat Roby says, hey-o, scheduled my Beth blinders. That's what she calls them. I love it. Put on your blinders and focus on something. Clothes organizing. Putting away the clothes that's been out for weeks. Here's a cool thing. Notice how you put your blinders on and you do that. So we did a similar thing this past weekend with people who are my Destination Decluttered one-on-one clients. And we did what we had done the week before with people just from the mailing list, what I called like a declutter party, where you carve out like an hour and a half, 2 hours on like on a Sunday or a Saturday. And we all showed up and we got on Zoom and we went through some stuff that we chose, like a category of clutter. Now, when it was the people who I hadn't coached before, I was a lot more kind of mindful of who was doing their own stuff. I was much more, mindful of that. But when I was doing that with people who I had coached with, we know the process a little bit more. So I was able to do a deep dive, and I will share this story with you guys, is paperwork. Now, it wasn't a lot of paperwork. The folder was like this big, but some of those papers in there, it was pretty much, I'll be honest with you, it was my estimated tax payments for like this year, 2024, that I have been dragging my feet on because I was like, I don't want to part with that money. But because we all showed up and did some stuff, we focused. I even went through some of those papers and I started the process. And because I started that process every day this week, I have gotten a little bit more done on my list. Notice, this is a list. I have stuff crossed off on it. My husband, I made my husband a list. I know we're not supposed to do that, but if I want it done my way and he's going to help, I make him a list. He gets it done. It works out great. And I love that Erin, here. Cheers. I've been making great progress on the office since our party too. Me too. There was a wonderful kind of momentum that started and did not stop just because we got started. I will share with you guys, what did I do? I actually probably threw away my list, but I paid my estimated taxes that I knew I was supposed to pay since like April. Like not the ones for this year. Like I'm cool. We already paid the taxes for this year, but these are the ones like if you make that money this year, you're going to owe this. So paying in advance. I had not done that. I was just dragging my feet. I had a few other random things to do. Even just honestly reviewing my 2023 tax return. I share this with you because the power of momentum, getting started, is so cool because it kind of gives this momentum. My husband is getting more stuff done on the lists than I think he ever has. And I have been reinforcing. I'm saying thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm getting some good stuff done with my mom, because I'm taking care of my aging mother and her clutter, and I've taken over all of her paperwork, and I found something that I was like, I don't know, I thought this was going to be okay, and I was able to make a call to an attorney that she works with, and I said, hey, I noticed this, and the woman's like, oh, that's interesting, that should have been taken care of when your dad died. Now, my dad died 14 years ago. I felt really good. If I was all in my own mess, I would not have had enough bandwidth to even take care of that. Now, why do I share this? I share this because starting small can help you get started. And once you get started, you might have this wonderful momentum. Okay? So TikTok just sent me a message. It said, welcome new members. I always do that. I always welcome people like Blonde Cheryl and Erin and Kat and people like that. However, I apologize if I didn't say all your names, but what I will do is I can introduce myself. So my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach based in Pennsylvania, southeastern PA, because I was mentioned in Wawa. But you heard me say something that gives away my Boston accent because I grew up in Massachusetts. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Doesn't that sound nice? You know what I want, where I want to be? Destination wedding, destination vacation, destination decluttered. Now, I love that when I show up and do these TikToks, you make of this time what you will. You know, Erin's making coffee. Kat Roby is getting accountability. Everybody, Kat is clearing the dining chair, the keyboard, the chair, and the Rubbermaid tote left out from the purge session. Okay? What do you want to get done during this next hour or so? Now, here's a fun thing. I love it. Meggers is working while listening to. Please do. Please do. Crystal Marie, you grew up in Mass? I grew up in Mass. You from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. I love it. Here's another interesting thing. You can use this time with what you want. If you want to be sitting there and scrolling on TikTok or just listening, totes my goats. Totally okay. If you want to be working on clutter, on surface clutter, putting stuff away, throwing stuff away, that type of thing. You can totally do that while you're listening to me, and you'll get stuff done. Unloading the dishwasher, folding laundry, that type of thing. Okay. It's me, Deb, is working your job and listening for me for motivation. I love it. All right, I love it. Erin is back in your office to eliminate another box of papers. You know what that means, you guys? Is that Erin has already eliminated a box of papers. Please, give her a round of applause. Isn't that what we used to do? There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to look at the screen to help me, but yes, bullseye. I got it. Erin, you just reminded me too, I got to go to Target at some point. Now, Crystal Marie says, I just moved and have an overwhelming amount of stuff that I didn't realize until I moved. Okay, I can help you with that. There we go. Now, Jen says, this is kind of funny. Jen says, I'm from the Philly area, Jersey. Okay, so you're over the bridge. You motivated me to clean the toilets and sink. Yeah, sometimes I notice that and I'm like, oh goodness, the light hits it just right and dust bunnies everywhere. And I love it. I can actually work in there now. Way nicer than the dining room table. Erin, you're kicking major butt. Major tookus. Now here, Crystal Marie, let me help you. There's one word. If you had written this down, I would circle this to notice. Maybe I'd get my highlighter out, okay? Where's my highlighter? I got a wicked lot of highlighters here. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. Overwhelming. I realized I have an overwhelming amount of stuff. So notice the connection between you feeling overwhelmed and the amount of items you have. I have an amount of my items that makes me feel overwhelmed. The wonderful thing is now you know how to make yourself feel less overwhelmed, is to go through the items and decide which ones you want and which ones you don't. Now that's decluttering, is decision making. What do I want? As I said before, and somebody's like, "Oh, I love it." It's like I say this all the time. It's like the Clash. Should I stay or should I go? What stays? What goes? Should I stay or should I go now? So going through your stuff, and here's the wonderful thing, Crystal Marie, about moving. You get to reinvent your living situation. It doesn't have to be. It probably can't be like it was before. You have a wonderful opportunity to, as I like to say, decorate your own Barbie dream house. What accessories are you buying for your dream house? Which ones do you already own? Which ones do you like? Use those. Which ones you don't like, you have a wonderful excuse to do another declutter because you decide you just don't want those things. When you move, you're making a best guess effort, best guess at how much stuff you have currently that is going to make sense and feel right in your new home. Now, my husband and I, we've been in this house almost 20 years. Boy, howdy, did we move so much stuff into this house. The basement looked like we had been here for 20 years within 5 years of us moving here. Now, that's because we both were collectors and very holding on to stuff. We had a hard time getting rid of things, but also because one of my previous kind of, self-made jobs was I used to thrift and sell vintage and mid-century stuff. So when we came in here, not only did we have my stuff, but we had all the stuff from the shop that I used to have my stuff in down in Delaware. So we had an excess of stuff and it was overwhelming. What I want to offer to you, Crystal Marie, is notice how that feeling of overwhelm feels, and let's calm it down. Everybody, please. The first step, the more I coach, the more I realize that the first step really isn't define your destination. No, this comes before it, is check in with your nervous system. Check in. How are you feeling about decluttering? Is it causing you to be anxious? Noted. Let's calm down that anxiety. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Let's chunk it down. Are you feeling all stressed out? Let's relax. Can you feel, whatever you're feeling that isn't good, let's play the opposite game. Okay? And when you're feeling better, then that's where we start. Okay? So I just wanted to mention that. Whoops, a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, right. Oceanana was born in Jersey too. I love it. German Maid is cleaning my kennel room and plan to reorganize and move some cabinets in there too. Awesome. Judy yesterday bagged up all of her essential oils she doesn't use anymore and gave them to a friend. Awesome. I got some essential oily thing from the woman who gave me a massage because I smell it and it makes me feel like I got a massage. Notice how we do things in our lives to make us feel good. We make our houses look good. We like smells that smell good. We maybe like this feeling of a nice moisturizing oil. You know, we like the sound of silence or the sound of, you know, birds in the trees versus chainsaws. Getting your senses involved in your decluttering helps you decide what you want decluttering wise. Now there we go. All right. Judy says 2 big shelves and probably 40 bottles, and it felt so good. Oh my gosh, that's why I show up too, frankly, and my clients tell me this. They are so resistant to decluttering that they hire me to be as their coach. And then at a certain point when we're going through it, they're like, oh my God, I love this. This is fun. This feels so good. I want to do more of it. I'm pissed off that I literally got off of a call with somebody who said, I'm pissed off that I have to do this thing on Saturday because it's taking away from the time that I really want to declutter. You know? Yep. Okay, Crystal Marie, really good insight. I love that you're learning this about your relationship with stuff. Okay? So Crystal Marie is sharing, I just left an abusive 16-year marriage. I didn't realize how much I bought to feel, and this is key, I bought to feel temporarily happy. Yeah. All of us have a story of how the stuff in our house came into our house. Did we buy it? Did we inherit it? Did we trash pick it? Did somebody give it to us? And knowing how it got there and is an interesting thing. Why do I have that? Who was I? What was going on in my life when that came into my life? And who am I now? And do I want that in my life or not? Now, it wasn't abusive, but I had a first marriage. It was just kind of short and unhappy, like my first husband. So I have very few things to remind me, so physical objects from that time that to remind me of that because I know it happened. But I don't need to be reminded of it all the time. So notice what you did, but now you're doing something to make you feel more permanently happy, which is leaving that relationship, moving, and starting fresh. I love it. I'm glad I'm here in your journey, even for just a smidge, to say, you got this. You're heading in the right direction. Go you for getting out of a place that didn't work for you and doing something different. You know? Now, Megger says, I moved and filled a huge roll-off dumpster. Then I moved into my now husband's home and facepalm. Yeah, everybody's got different feelings about clutter and what they do with it. My husband and I will say this, I'm a professional declutter person, but my husband and I get get onto loggerheads about what stays and what goes on occasion. Luckily, it's very few and far between, but I will share with you guys. Remember I did the videos about the spices? Let's just say I kind of overstepped and I, by mistake, threw away a spice that hadn't expired. He was mad at me, so we just had to go buy a new one. We made up. It's fine. You know, no, Erin is sending love out to Crystal Marie, too. I was in exactly that same boat. I can empathize. Take care of yourself. Yes. Okay. Marsha Harlan, my bedroom is so overwhelming, I don't even sleep well. Okay. Notice how your clutter can make you feel and how it can affect your physical health. Yeah. What can you do to be less overwhelmed in your bedroom to sleep well? If anything, I would offer this. I would even just temporarily move the overwhelming stuff into another room so that at least you sleep well. Because if you're not sleeping well, you're going to wake up with, a quarter tank of gas in your car and you won't be able to go far. I got a really good night's sleep last night. I did. I learned I got to put on one of those face masks, not the giant plastic ones I see on TikTok, but just a regular one, and it helped me sleep. But I still woke up. I wake up earlier than I want to get up. And some mornings I spend scrolling on TikTok, maybe like you do too. But this morning I said, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to pay those bills. I did. You guys, before 8 a.m. today, I had already kicked some major ass because I decided to do something different. And the reason I was able to more easily do that different thing was because I got some good sleep. So notice the difference it feels when you feel better. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, neurologically, energetically, all the feels, as the kids say. Now, I am backing up here just a few. I saw a few questions. All right. Where do we go? There we go. Okay, good. Stuff. Jack is acting. Jack of Jack-O-Lantern says, how can we encourage people in our lives to declutter? Parents, Gen X people, and maybe not Gen X, but that's us. We are the double stuff in the Oreo cookie of life. We've got one layer above us of old timers who struggle with clutter even more than we do. We struggle with clutter because they did, I betcha. And then on the other end of the Oreo cookie, we have that next generation. Now, I don't have kids, but I've got nieces and nephew. And oh my God, you guys, somebody commented on one of my TikTok lives. It was like, or my TikToks, it was like, oh, you're so great. You remind me of my grandmother. Honey, I'm the cool aunt. I will always be the cool aunt, okay? So, how do we encourage people in their lives to declutter? Carefully. Carefully. With full of care for them. Now, I go through this on the daily with my aging mother. We may not change those people. We can encourage them with love and support. Tell them you're there to help them if they want help. But really, everybody, mind your energy. Make sure that you're going into that discussion with love in your heart, with, what is that they talk about, with lack of, like, you're not holding on to it, with that, like, non-attachment, I guess. Love and non-attachment and patience. So if they say, so they know you're there in the spirit of love, okay? If you're not, people can be super, you may be one of these people yourself, super hypersensitive to even perceived judgment. And if you're judged and you feel like you're being judged, you might shut down, kind of like a armadillo, keeping yourself safe. So make sure that you're saying, I come in peace, I come with love. Okay. Em says, I definitely give auntie vibes. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Jack says, yeah, my parents are Gen X. Okay, see, I am Gen X, and they save a lot of old phones and tech stuff. It's funny. You know why? Because we are not used to, many people are not used to how quickly technology, just this era of obsolescence. It's comical. We have a pile. Only recently did my husband and I take some things to one of those electronics recycling things. Now, we are collectors anyway, and my husband, being a musician, he tends to use some outdated recording technology and music stuff. But we also have, it's like, okay, my computer went out of date and it doesn't have any storage and it's really slow, but it doesn't feel good to just throw it in the trash. So what I would say too is get curious with them. If there's something they're struggling with, without judgment, ask them why they are keeping it and allow them to examine that if they choose to. If they don't want to deal, you're going to have a really hard time, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah, I love them, but yeah, clutter is hard to live with in the house. Okay, Jack, I will offer to you. I grew up in a cluttered home. My parents both came from not a lot of money, so they saved a lot of stuff because they were raised by people who saved a lot of stuff. I became the person who changed I cluttered like nobody's business because it's how I grew up, but then I always knew that it felt better for me when things were neat and organized. So even as a kid, I would make little forts in my room and be in control of where things were set up. And you can learn to not clutter yourself, Jack. If you live with them, you can make your home, your chunk of the house, a sanctuary. You can choose to do that, and you can change the direction of your family. You can choose to be different. You can learn to be different clutter-wise. All of us, not just Jack, because I'm just talking to you, If Dismiss Rune says, so if they put up the defenses, then how do we approach? You don't approach. You say, okay, cool, no big deal, no pressure. Do not pressure them. Do not put any kind of pressure on somebody. You will not get the result you want. Play the long game. Now, I will share this with you. So, I'm 58. My dad died 14 years ago. It was only 3 years ago that my mother actually put down her defenses and allowed me to help with the clutter in the house. As I was going through the clutter in the house, what did I come across? Not one, but two, but multiple little certificates that I had made throughout the years to my parents saying, I know you don't need any more stuff, but if you want some help organizing it or categorizing it or doing whatever, I can help you with that. Did they take me up on it? No. It took me to be 55 years old before my mother said, yeah, I guess I could use some help. So play the long game, you know? So, yep. Now, Judy has a worry about getting stuff off the technology. I worry someone can get the stuff off of the technology. Okay, Judy, I will offer to you. You can go to places that clean that off. You can also read things on your technology that will tell you how to wipe your stuff clean so they don't have that. Okay? Okay. Now, Nettie is saying, I have been trying to declutter for years. It gets old. Yeah, it gets old, not getting anywhere. But I'm not giving up. Okay. Maybe, Nettie, I will offer this to you. Nettie, you're doing the best you can with the skills you have. But maybe there are a few skills that you just don't have, like in your toolkit. You're doing the best you can with what you know how to do. So obviously there's something out there that you just currently don't know how to do that might help and make your decluttering different. Okay? So, yeah, I'm glad you're not giving up. I mean, I'm scrolling back here, but Erin and I coached together, and she's not giving up on herself. She was struggling with paperwork, and she's like, I'm not going to give up. But there's different things. You got to learn what works for you and do that. But discover where you get stuck. Figure out where you get stuck. Okay? When you know where you get stuck, then you can start there and say, oh, you know what happens is I sit down. We used to joke, like, you could do stuff good as soon as you sit down, forget it, your progress stops. And when you're sitting down, it's usually because you're reading something or you're flipping through something or you're looking at photos. That is sentimental clutter, you know? And thank you for somebody telling I got the cool auntie vibes. Yeah. So, yeah, Crystal Marie found unopened mail from 2003. Yeah, I found opened mail that had been saved since 1973 in my mother's attic in April of 2024. Carla, who sometimes shows up here, Carla's one of my one-on-one clients. She's digging out her mother's house because her mother passed and her mother had collected a lot of stuff. She showed me some 17 magazines she had from like the 80s and 90s. So you're not alone. You're not alone, okay? Everybody, we are all in this together. We are. If you wouldn't, you'd be like, decluttering, oh, I don't have that problem. I think cluttered people are cool people. I really do. I think we get a bad rap. The people who can easily discard things, maybe they're lacking some empathy or some storytelling or some feeling that some of us tend to give to inanimate objects. What is that? Anthropomorphism. Look it up. You know, oh, I can't get rid of that mug. That's the mug that my dad gave me. Oh, man, I was showing this to somebody the other day. That's the ruler my dad used in high school. You know, we tell stories. We have ideas. I'm not getting rid of that. I could make something really cool out of that. That's not done. I could reinvent that. There's still some left in this thing. So cluttered people have really cool brains. But our brains also have fear in them that keep us hanging on to things even when we know kind of rationally we don't need it. There's something in our hearts that keeps us hanging on. You keep me hanging on, you know? So just notice this. There we go. See, Erin, isn't it cool? Erin is saying, Nettie, I feel that it gets frustrating, but keep going. You will make progress. Erin, isn't it cool to be the person who is also working through it yourself, and being able to help people because they're further behind, not behind, they're just starting the journey like you did, you know? Yeah, I'm going to use it someday. Yeah, you could use it someday. You could. Now, Pippi's asking, what about new stuff, not old, addicted to shopping? Ask yourself why you're addicted. Addicts to anything are craving a feeling of feeling better than they do now. So what is your addiction to shopping trying to make you feel better from? Why are you feeling crappy now? I'm sorry you're feeling crappy. No, I used to go out thrifting, which was, shopping for old stuff, because I was distracting myself from the things that I was feeling bad about. That, like, I was getting older and I still didn't know what I was going to be when I grew up. That I had a job that I was supposed to be happy with, but I wasn't happy with it, but I was making good money, and it looks good on the outside, but I was dying on the inside. That I was afraid I was going to die before I lived the life I wanted to live, but I didn't even know what kind of life I wanted to live. But I was afraid to dream about it or even write it down, because then my backseat driver was like, that'll never happen. Who are you kidding? There's many reasons why we do that thing we do. Notice, why do you do that thing you do? Get curious about it. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Get curious about it. Okay. Now, I'm 57 and bought those 17 magazines back in the day. I'd be sad to get rid of them. User 8274629410325. Why would you be sad? Now, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just curious. What is your story of sadness? What would that mean? That you're no longer 17 years old anymore? When 17 I learned the truth. Blah, da, blah, da, blah, da, blah. Remember that song? Yeah. Yeah. Nettie says, I yard sale and have a lot of story for those items. Make me feel good to see where they go. Yeah. There we go. Even Jack says, notice, Jack, you grew up with cluttered people. I used to be addicted to shopping when I was super stressed in college. Bought a ton of makeup. Yeah. So notice, when you feel stressed, you do something to make you feel less stressed. To make yourself feel better. We do these things. Pippi is saying, so true, thrifting and clearance is my go-to. Now notice, we're all going external and we're bringing things into our lives with the attempt to feel better. Now, sometimes it works. Maybe I went out and I had a headache and I bought some Excedrin and I took it feel better. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I was feeling cold and I bought myself a sweatshirt. Now I feel better. But sometimes it doesn't work. Crystal Marie says, yes, I own thousands of dollars worth of craft supplies now. Right. You bought the craft supplies. Now you are right now. Do you want to be a crafter? I thought I wanted to be a crafter. I thought that the only way that I could express my creativity was somehow to paint or to craft. Two things I don't enjoy, but that was like, if you're a creative person, you need to create something tangible. And what I realized very late in life, but my creative expression is different. When I realized I wasn't going to be a crafter and I was okay with that, I was able to share my crafting items with people who truly did want to craft and did. I had a conversation with this awesome woman who owns a vintage store down the street from me about paying her to craft something for me out of some of these ingredients I still have left over. All right, Joy Ginger says, I was decluttering and I accidentally threw my Tupperware lids away and I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, how does it feel when you're thinking about it? Does it feel good? Do you laugh about it now, but at the time it was terrible? Huh? Did anybody pick that one up? Those things are going to happen. Joy Ginger, what I want to offer to you too is notice that. How you declutter. If you're decluttering in a rage, if you are rage cleaning, if you are pitching stuff left and right, if you're just being indiscriminate and you're just throwing stuff around, yeah, you're going to more likely throw the baby out with the bathwater. Throw out the good stuff with the bad. Slowing down the pace. Now, maybe this is a good time to remind you, I guess it's 2:34 already. I've been talking for a wicked long time. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching here on TikTok and on the internet and on YouTube, which is also on the internet, is called Destination Decluttered. Why? Because I think of life as a road trip. If you look behind me, those of you, I've got a point over here that reminds me of a map point and a point over here that looks like a heart. A road trip between two places. You're here, but you want to be there. What is your there? My destination decluttered. So when you slow down your pace, you can enjoy the ride. Don't try to rush through it. Now look, Joy Ginger, you're not alone. Nettie is saying, I've done it too. Now I actually just put away the clean dishes moments before I did this TikTok live. Literally, I had coaching and then I had a half hour to go to the bathroom, tidy up, eat something. And then I had this just nebulous 10 minutes left. And I said, well, I know what I'll do is I will empty the dishwasher. As I did that and I kind of threw my Tupperware. It's so not Tupperware. It's like leftover stuff from Chinese food into the cupboard. I was like, ooh, I should probably go through this and do a little Noah's Ark, a little matchy-matchy. Does everything have its lid? Okay, it's going to happen, you know? And there we go. I had a bag to thrift, go through later, just said now. There they went. Oh, well. I love the oh, well. Oh, well. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Like Aunt Mary Pat, let it go. Okay? And buy yourself a new Tupperware with a lid and pay attention to where the lid goes. Learn from it. Do something different. That's all we're going to do right here is what works for you, you're going to keep on doing. What didn't work for you, if you don't learn from it, you're going to repeat it in so many areas of your life. Oh, I know I don't like tequila. I keep on having to learn that. Oh, I know I shouldn't date that kind of person. Oh, I know if I eat that kind of cheese, it gives me a rumbly tumbly. Oh, I know that if I do things too quickly, I will inadvertently miss something. You know? I love it. LG, chunked. LG, I organized and decluttered one drawer in my kitchen today. It's been bothering me for months. Chunked it down. Yeah. And then now here's the thing. Lala says, buy yourself glass storage and chuck out all of the plastic. So that's a thing you could do too. Yeah. Plenty of stuff you can do. So, it's so funny. He brought me the hot tea and I talked so much. Now it's tepid tea. So, here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Here I am to help you with your clutter. Okay? Let it go. A lot of the stuff, the clutter, let me clue you into this one. Clutter is not the stuff in your house that you love. Clutter is not the stuff in your house that you use on a daily or weekly basis, or even seasonally. Clutter is the stuff that you don't want. At a certain level, you know you don't want it, but up here, you tell yourself a story of why you can't let it go. Your head and your heart are kind of beating each other up. They're, you know, fat and skinny had a race. I don't know. That just came to my head. I thought I'd share it. But your heart is saying, you don't need that. Just let it go. And your head's like, whoa, no, I got a story. I'm the person with the words. We don't do feelings. Feelings are different. Trust your feelings when you want to let it go. Get curious about what the words are. Okay? Get curious what the words are. What are the words in your head? What is the sentence? What's the story you're telling yourself? You tell yourself stories all the time. Are they good stories? Are they bad stories? Once upon a time. Once upon a time. I think that's a John Fay song. Excuse me, I'm going to go pick this up for a sec. What are the stories you tell yourself? Do you tell yourself you're too old? That you've always been this way? That this is going to be hard? That I can't get rid of that because, you know? Just get curious about the words in your head. Do not believe them off the top of your head. Shine the light on them and say, does this hold up under closer scrutiny? Is this a lie? Is somebody lying to me? Or is this a real stone cold fact and truth? Okay? Now Lala says, I have a hoarder's worth of boxes. I'm going through it slowly. Good. I'm glad you're going through it slowly. Go through your clutter at a pace that works for you. Do not try to do it too fast. It is not a race. It is a road trip. It is a journey. Okay? Lala says, I realized that I'm hanging on to the past. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with hanging on to some of your past. But remember, if you are hanging on to all of your past, if you are hanging on to too much of your past, then there's no hand open that can also reach out for cool stuff for the future. You know? Now, I love this. Oceanana is saying, I needed a crossbody purse. Guess what I found while decluttering yesterday? A crossbody purse. Yeah. I love that. Oceanana, the universe provides. You know, I just had a story with a client who was telling me, she told me when we very first started about this dress that she was longing for at Anthro. And she really wanted it, but she was not going to buy it and all this. And then she checked up on it again, and then it was gone from their website. And then she found it on this site where you can rent clothes. Isn't that cool? There's cool stories out there about decluttering. You know? Yep. Okay. I realize that, I love them, or I wish the years were better. You can't wish the other years were better. You can learn from them. You can see them with kind glasses that you were doing the best you could with what you had, but you can make these years better. When you are hanging on to crap from the past, you're crapping up your today and your future. Yeah. Okay. Joy Ginger says, crazy going through notebooks, tearing out old notes. Seems like a waste of time. You're learning something about yourself from those old notebooks, I bet. Now, Stacey Bond says, I've been much more willing to let things go, but getting to it is very slow-paced. Yeah. How about, instead of thinking slow or fast, because slow is kind of judgy. Slow implies that there's a faster way of doing something. How about, I am cruising along at a pace that feels good to me. Notice when you're on the road, there are some people that are zooming by you, driving like crazy. There are other people that are afraid to even do the speed limit. Both of them have different vibes behind them. How about just cruising along at a pace that feels good? Sometimes you go faster, sometimes you go slower, but feel good about the pace you're making. Now Jess is saying, I have a hard time letting go of clothes. Get curious about that. What's your story? Tell me the story of one piece of clothing that you have trouble getting rid of. And that will tell you a lot about why you're hanging on to a lot more stuff in your house than you think. Okay. Judy says, lots of products in the bathroom that I don't use. Want to get rid of them. Do you pitch half-used bottles? I will be honest. Do you want the honest truth from me? I come from a thrifty family. So I will probably use something up, even if it's not the greatest, and learn not to buy it again, than to pitch something that's half done. But I have gotten so much better at that recently, that it's okay to let it go if it's not working for you. But I also try to make a really good decision before I even buy the item. Why am I buying this other kind of shampoo? What's wrong with the shampoo I currently have? Once I find a shampoo that I use it all the time. I'm like my dad. I think he had what do you call it? Like dandruff back in the 60s. And from then until the day he died, he used Head and Shoulders. I found that Garnier Nutresse that's in a green bottle. Works good on my hair. I just buy it all the time. Get curious about why you had those things. But yeah, if they're not working for you, it's fine to let them go. It is. I found a mascara that I bought at the beginning of the summer that was, waterproof, because I thought we were going to the beach and the pool a lot, and I didn't. And so I found it. I also realized it was stuff that once I used it, it kind of like flaked off. But I kept it, and I said, well, maybe if we're just going to the pool. Well, we never ended up going to the pool this summer. We did other fun things. And as I said that, I said, well, I'm probably not going to go to the pool until next year. By next year, this stuff is going to be even more flaky because it's going to dry out. You know what I did? I threw it away. Yeah. I have yet to be struck by a bolt of lightning. Yeah, so it's okay to let go of things that don't work for you. All right? Yeah, I love it. So Jack says, recently helped my friend declutter when she moved out of her dorm. She was afraid to declutter alone. A lot of people don't want to do it alone. Now, I mentioned earlier in this TikTok how the 2 weekends ago and last weekend, I did what I called a decluttering party. Now, this was just for the people on my mailing list, and then I did a bonus one that was only for the people who are my clients. And what a decluttering party is pretty much going through your own clutter, but not feeling alone while you're doing it. So notice what could make it easier for you. I've heard rave reviews from everybody who attended that party who has said, you know what, that really helped me. That really helped me to focus when I knew other people were focusing. That really helped me to know that I wasn't alone. That really helped me to realize I'm struggling with things, but I could also help somebody else with something. So Jack, I love it. You know what? Jack says, oh, I love to declutter. I wish I could help everyone. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you want to be what do you call it? I say a decluttering life coach, but I kind of made up that term for me. But I would check with yourself. Jack, how about this? If you like to declutter, make sure you're hitting the 3 categories, the 3 layers. There's surface clutter, which is usually what people think of, the surface stuff. Then there's stored clutter. So that's what's in drawers and doors, behind, in closets, in cabinets, in drawers, in your closet, in drawers, in your bedroom, in drawers in the kitchen, drawers in the bathroom. So there's surface clutter, there's stored clutter, but there's also sentimental clutter. Okay? You know? And make sure you're cool with all of those yourself. Now, I am getting better at all of those myself, and I've been doing this for years. It is wonderful to help people do it. Meet them where they are at. What do they want to have help with? You know? Yes. Notice how people will be helped and help them that way. You know? Yeah. Erin says, Jack, start a business. People would pay for help. Yeah, Erin, Jack, maybe you guys should get together. Maybe Erin, you know what? Check it out. See what works. You know? And I love this. Oceanana is saying, when you let it go, it's not mocking you in your face every time you continue to see it. Yeah, that evidence of a poor decision you made. Yeah, I had a dream that my ex-husband was in last night. I don't need a stitch of anything of that first relationship to remind me. I don't need anything in my house to remind me of it, because my brain will do it. Thank you very much. You know? But you're not looking at that thing and saying, oh, I spent all that money on that thing and I'm not using it. Yeah. Get rid of it, you know? There we go. Okay. Okay, so Jess says, one problem I have is disposing of a lot. It's expensive to have it taken away. Okay. I look at the expense of getting things taken away as an investment in your freedom. You know? It is and since we're talking about expenses, yeah, how much are you willing to pay to feel better in your house? I spent $60 to get a bunch of bags of paperwork shredded because there wasn't a free shredding event that I could see in my neighborhood in the next year or so, 6 months. I waited a long time and I had a lot of my mother's stuff. And I said, you know what? I don't want this here anymore. It is worth this money to me to get it out of here and know it's disposed of properly. Okay? Yeah. Trash collection will only take so much, so it's a little by little and frustrating. Okay, Jess, invest some money in your life. Pony up and pay some money. Or there's other ways you can do it. Maybe you can put stuff in other people's trash cans, with their permission, of course. Maybe there are people that you don't have to pay that are going to come and help you move stuff to the Goodwill. There are different ways to do it. Get creative. Your brain is a creative machine. When you say to your brain, when you input the question, kind of like AI, what are different ways that I can get my stuff out of my house without paying for it? Allow the AI up here, the actual intelligence, not the artificial stuff, but the real deal. This is where the magic happens, okay? Now somebody said, and I think, there we go. Bella Lisa says, could you speak to how you set up your pricing for your services? Is it by time or project? Sure, I'll be happy to tell you about that. The way I run my business is I am a decluttering life coach, and I only coach people on Zoom. So I don't come to your house. I don't touch your stuff. But what I do is I offer a package of 1-hour sessions. My package, it's almost like a box of eggs with 2 eggs missing, because I have a package of 10 sessions. And my package of 10 sessions is a price. Now, I don't share the price right here because it has changed, and it does change, and it will change. And I don't want the price of my package to get in the way of you seeing if coaching would even help you to begin with. Because that's a completely different conversation. But yes, I do a 10-session package, and I will share this with you. I currently have clients, because I only started doing this within the last, 2-3 years officially. I've been doing it all my life, as Jack kind of said, helping people out. I have only recently transformed this into a successful business. I will say this. I have currently clients that are during their first package, their package 1. I have clients that are on their second package because they liked package 1 so much. I have clients on their second, third, fourth, fifth, and about to be 6th package. Now, this speaks to moving forward at a pace that feels right to you. This speaks to liking the fact that you can pay somebody to then show up and be accountable and to kind of poke holes in how you're thinking, to lovingly bust you on some things you're telling yourself, or to just give a perspective of how to do something a different way that might get the result quicker. So you pay for my expertise. And yeah, that's how I do it. That is how I do it. I hope that helps. Okay, now it's 2:50 in the afternoon right now. I've got about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to go take a walk. I got an unexpected check in the mail, so I'm going to go deposit that at my little tiny bank down the street. And then I'm going to do some more coaching and then do some fun stuff. But for the next 10 minutes, I'm here with you. So Kimberly says, how to get rid of sentimental clutter. Just moved 96-year-old from his home to an independent apartment. Oh, man, old people. They get you, huh? Sentimental clutter is the deepest level of clutter. It is the stuff that has stories attached to it, and it can be really hard to detach the story from the stuff. It is totally doable if you're in the right mindset. So it depends on whose stuff it is, and if they are willing to part with those stories. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. You know? Okay, I love this. Three Cats in a Bun says, I had dozens of empty shoeboxes saved in my coat closet. I don't know why I saved them. Now they're recycled, you know? So notice that. What I would do, again, kind of trying to declutter other people is very different from decluttering yourself, but it's the same principle. Treat that person how you would want to be treated if you were struggling with getting rid of clutter. Show up in compassion, curiosity, lack of judgment, lack of attachment, not rushing, offering to be of service, of helping if they want help with it. If they don't want any of that, be willing to just drop it and let it go until some other time, or until, that type of thing, yeah. Bella Lisa, you're welcome. I would offer, you might get some information about the more businessy aspects of it. NAPO, N-A-P-O, National Association of Professional Organizers. We get a lot of information from those folks. I will admit I kind of organically came from the life coaching stuff, but I invented a lot of how I wanted to do it by myself. Okay? Sometimes I feel completely detached and able to get rid of my things, and then I regret it. Well, I will offer this. If you're completely detached, you won't have any regret. You probably have some attachment that is causing the regret. So the next time you do it, make sure your energy is clean. And even say to yourself, will I regret donating this? If I do, what am I going to regret? Why am I going to regret it? Now, Jack, look at this. I feel like decluttering now. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I love to create order out of chaos. I like it because it feels good. It feels like I'm in control of something when, it probably comes from being a kid. When the house around me is cluttered, I can have control over stuff. But it also feels good physically and mentally. I can breathe easier when I'm decluttered. I'm not all shrunk up and walking around like this. My head feels good. It feels nice and quiet in there. And I can come up with really cool ideas because there's not all this clutter buzzing around in my head. The clutter's not buzzing around in my head is because I write a ton of stuff down on paper. I keep those things. Decluttering helps you physically, mentally, emotionally. It helps you with so many things, not just how it looks. Okay? So I just won this. Yes, I love a good before and after. Yeah, so do I. To say, look what I did. Look what I can accomplish. And that's why I love to empower people by showing them a way to get past what's keeping them currently stuck, to show them that they can do stuff that they previously thought was hard. Look at what I did. I transformed this mess into something that I love. And I love this. When I was talking about writing down stuff, Judy says, I felt so much better yesterday coming up with a list and just doing those things. Yeah. You felt good yesterday doing that? Maybe consider putting that in your toolkit. Yeah. Michelle, here's the funny thing. I put my TikTok lives up on, when they're recorded, they get housed on YouTube. Now, this one will only be available to the people on the mailing list. So if you want to get on my mailing list, it's free. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Now, the reason I mention that is because Michelle is saying, do you have suggestions for dealing with a spouse who struggles with organization? Now, Michelle, I've been on this, and I'm just saying this as an informational thing. it's really interesting to me that I've been talking for the last 55 minutes, and within each kind of 15-minute segment, somebody is coming on saying, how do I deal with or help somebody else who's struggling with clutter? So I offer that, again, I will just repeat myself because it's solid advice. Get curious, not judgmental. Come at it with a perspective of love and non-judgment and slow-paced, and meet them wherever they're at. I've done it the other way, and it's just much harder. You get into fights. You get mad. There's hurt feelings. I continue to screw up this process myself with my husband. I am getting much better at it with my mother, better than I ever have. And patience and non-attachment and non-judgment, people smell that on you. They know that you're not judging them, and they might be more open to doing something different. This one, when I upload this TikTok live, is going to be the one where I talked about helping other people with clutter because it came up so much, you know? Yeah. So if you like what you're hearing from me, I do these TikTok lives quite often. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm turning my page here. I know the next time I'm going to have a TikTok live. If you're on my mailing list, that's another cool thing you'll get, is the access to the calendar of when I do this. Now, I say the calendar, it's more like a schedule. And I'm looking at it right now. I know the next time I'm doing a Destination Decluttered TikTok Live, so do the people on my mailing list. If you want to know when I'm going to do this again, because I will, sign up for my mailing list. It is free. It is easy. It is easy peasy. Also, you get invited. We do like a monthly group Zoom, of which I'm going to play around with. And also, the people on my mailing list will be the first ones to know cool things about whatever I'm doing. Like I did a Spotify playlist that I've added new consultation schedules, things to the calendar, all sorts of stuff. So yes, so Jack says, sign me up. Yeah, you got to do it yourself, okay? It's destinationdecluttered.com/join. Actually, I'm going to be off of my TikTok live in about 3 minutes. When you do that, maybe you want to go and follow my TikTok page. And when you do that, you'll see a thing underneath my home page where it says destinationdecluttered.com/links. And there's just a page that I made with how to sign up for the mailing list, what coaching is about, all that kind of stuff. Now, I love this. Judy signed up and she says, I put your lives in my calendar now. Yeah, so notice the things we make time for. The things we make time for, we put on our calendars. The things we want to happen, we write down, we schedule them, we make them happen. Cool. Okay, Jack, I'm glad you saw it, okay? So this is what I do. This is how I do it, and I'm goofy and fun, and I'm wearing no makeup right now, and I'm about to go take a shower because I'm a real human being that helps people with this, and I still struggle it. And there we go. And Kat Roby says, AKA scheduled Beth Blinders. And I saw earlier, way to go, cool aunties of the world. Yes, I'm like an Auntie Mame. I'm like the combo of Lillian Russell and the musical version of Mame, okay? So this is what I do. I hope it helps. I want to encourage you, give you the courage, and not even just give it to you. I want to uncover the courage you have in you already that says, I can do something I want to do. I can do the things that are going to get me to where I want to go. I can start that journey, and it makes it easier when I'm on a journey to know where I'm headed. And you're headed to your destination decluttered, right? So feel good about what you're doing. Do not beat yourself up. Encourage yourself. Don't discourage yourself. Encourage yourself. Talk nicely to yourself. Quiet down that backseat driver who says no, and listen to your co-pilot who says, you can do it. You can do it. You got the music in you. Now, there are some things you don't know how to do, so you know what you should do? You should get some help. If there's somebody who knows how to do that, or if you get lonely, have a buddy hang out with you. There are ways you can do the things that you currently don't know how to do or you're scared to do. Okay? This is all what it's about, people. You know, the success is already within you. It is. The courage. You know? It's weird. I just heard something outside. Maybe it's beware of the blob. Okay? I love it. Judy just says, I have gotten more done since I started watching you than I have in the past 3 years. Well, Judy, I look forward to keeping up with you with that. And the wonderful thing about one-on-one coaching is we get to speak specifically to where you get stuck. And you don't have to wait your turn to ask me questions. As Erin once said, I want that woman 24/7 all to myself to help me with my stuff. That's what one-on-one coaching does. And man, if you've gotten this much out of just watching my TikTok lives, you and I are going to go cruising down the highway towards your destination decluttered. Okay? Now, it has just hit the top of 3 o'clock. I'm going to sign off for now. I encourage you. Yeah, all to yourself is the best, says Erin. I wasn't sure if you were still on there, okay? You guys are all rocking, doing what you're doing. Keep it up, and I will see you the next time I'm doing a Destination Decluttered TikTok Live, okay? Keep on rocking. Don't stop, all right? Bye. All right, bye. Frozen smile, right? Here we go. Why is the button not working? Okay. Bye.